As far as bodybuilding comparisons are concerned, this is it. This is the great one. Dorian Yates, Ronnie King Coleman, Phil the Gift Heath, and wait till we take a look at the box. I woke up this morning, and as usual, I check out all of the other bodybuilding channels that I follow. Superset Man, one of my favorites. And didn't I notice? Dorian Yates, Ronnie Coleman, Phil Heath. Oh no, he's doing a comparison between these three just on the same day I am. I have this all set up. I was just about to record it and noticed that. But on further inspection, it's not a comparison. Knowing Superset Man, he has a different type of video, and it's about the power of three. Go check that out. Very interesting. But my heart almost skipped a beat. I thought, wow, what are the odds? What are the odds? But anyway, I think there were different years anyway. 93 for Yates, 1999 for Coleman. It was the power of three for Superset Man's video. So 2003 would also been a great year for Ronnie King Coleman. But we are using the 2011 for Phil Heath. Also 2013 would have been a likely suspect. Would have been 3 for each. But thank goodness I choose different years than in Superset Man's video. This is going to be a fun one, guys. But there's not going to be a whole lot of bucka-buckas, woozle-wazzles. You got to take this serious. Dorian Yates, sure many of you guys are just laying it down without even looking at this, thinking he's going to lose the front double for sure because of the lack of the separation, lack of detail in the arms, peaks, things of that nature. He's got good forearms. He's got maybe just as good forearms as Coleman, maybe better. Phil Heath, maybe the best forearms in the game. But where Yates has it, he has an awesome structure. He has maybe the best structure. Well, Ronnie King Coleman wins this one. Hands down. Arms up. Hands down. Arms up. That's the way we like to pose. Bum bum. Chick, 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 chick. Does Yates get Phil here, guys? I mean, I know Phil is destroying Yates in the arm, but the same thing could be said, the destroying thing, for Yates about that structure. They're a lot taller, Coleman and Yates, and they stand taller. They don't bend at the knees, so it's going to be a big height differential. So yeah, Coleman, maybe Phil, then Yates, but close between them two. Front lat spread. And I'm going to tell you right now, I am not a Yatesite, a Dorianite. I apologize. I'm not a Dorianite. I don't follow the Church of Coleman. I'm not a Colemanite. I respect both religions, but I have to be honest. These 93 pictures of Yates suck. Pop on a better one. Now, the angles are fair here. And you can see that when Coleman had it in the biceps, it was just too much, the arms. Here in the front lat spread, Yates has it in the lats. Look at that, guys. And the structure of Phil Heath puts him down to last place. Coleman, maybe even underrated in the front lat spread, but I mean, how can you underrate a guy you call the king? And as far as Yates is concerned, you think he's losing from that front relaxed, the front relaxed and the front double because he's not the strongest. But get into the meat and potatoes of the matchup. Yates is pretty good. Turn to the side, and Yates falls victim. It was the arms. Certain shots he could display, as we will see in the side tricep. But here, and in the front double, the arms. And Coleman, wow. Have you ever seen a better arm in the side chest? Phil Heath, he's a little pocket rocket down there. And like I said, guys, he is shorter, yes. Maybe not that much shorter, but he bends at the knees quite substantially. Baby, please. Did you guys like when I said baby Jesus? And then I said Moses for the other video. Gave myself a gold star for that one. Wow. But yeah, Coleman, hands down, flattening the other two guys. And again, it's Phil over Yates. So Yates cannot seem to get a couple of poses together. You get that front lat. And then you go to the side tricep. Whoa, look at this, guys. Here is where the Dorianites, they're just sitting there in their seat, hoping, Surely, they're thinking. Mark's Max Muscle, he tells it like it is. He's going to give the devil his due. He's going to give Yates some props here, yeah? Not only is Yates winning in the silhouette, well, Phil Heath is pretty good. Coleman's getting last in this. Coleman's getting last in this. But Yates, more so than the outer silhouette, he has a fish scaly skin. If you could see them live on stage, there is a difference of condition. In this pose, right here, might not be able to notice it as much in the other ones, especially that front double. But here, yeah, Yates all the way. Interesting. Go to the first of the take a look at the box. Now, I'll tell you right now, for those of you who do not have very good eyesight, you can't see finery details, Yates is getting last in this one. Yates is getting last. But for those of you who are, I don't want to say the word experts, Bob Ciccarello will jump on our case. And I'm not dissing Bob. He's a good dude. But yeah, for those of you who know what you were looking for, Yates's condition, and I wish we had these guys live on stage to move around beside each other. Yates is rock, granite, versus a pretty hard substance like a fiberglass or something. Whereas Coleman and Phil have similar type hardness condition. Phil's awesome. Lat insertions. Is he beating Coleman? I think structure would have Coleman getting this one. Arms. Look at the arms. Now, arms, Coleman, Phil, awesome. Coleman, probably better. Calves for Phil, though. But Dorian Yates, he has just an unbelievable set of delts. Actually beating Coleman and Phil on the delts. So if your argument is arms, no, Dorian Yates, I'm sorry guys, three ways get confusing. Dorian Yates has it going on, and he definitely deserves a mention for a possible first place in this rear double. Keeping in mind, all the while, that lighting of 93 it's terrible. You can't see anything. And another thing, guys, Yates held his legs so different. He doesn't bow the quads out. Trust me, his legs weren't that small. I mean, if you want to compare leg size, look at those big termite sacks of calves. Look at the size of those big babies. Tumorous. Here is the rear lat spread, and once again, terrible footage, guys. Get yourself together, 93 cameramen, or it's probably the IFBB wouldn't let them stand where they wanted to, things of that nature. But either which way, guys, here's another one of Yates. And is it better? Yeah, I think it shows the true hard graininess. More so for Yates. He's opened up a little bit better. Yates and Heath are similar here. I mean, Coleman might be on another level. The rear double, I think Coleman might have been in trouble versus Yates, but here in this rear lat, I think Yates also looked harder, more separated in the rear double. Wow. What a matchup, guys. Who you gonna pick? I mean, I don't want to say it out loud. If you were to say out loud, Coleman, Dorian, or even Phil Heath is losing in any back shots, you're gonna get your house egged. You're gonna get prank phone calls. People phone my house asking for Mr. Walls. No, there's no Mr. Walls here. Well, how does your ceiling stay up, or whatever they said? The little jerks. I didn't even get it. Yeah, Phil Heath. He's not going to be talked about a lot in this, but realistically, he could win both back shots. So could Coleman. So could Yates. Go to the abs and thigh. I am definitely going to mark one as the winner, one as the loser. And the abs and thigh is harder to say. Not a very good picture of Yates, and I know, broken record, but why Mark's Max Muscle? Why do you say the same thing over and over again? Because, hey, if it calls for it, it calls for it. And it just does not do Yates justice. But, I mean, the guy's quads look terrible in this shot. I'll be honest. And he had a good big teardrop. Just doesn't have the good separation of Coleman. Or of Phil. Phil looks good, too. The funny thing is, none of these guys known for their abs. Their genetic ab makeup like a Lee Priest or heck, even a Sean Ray. The little devil. Yeah, these guys, none of them are the greatest of all time in the abs and thigh. So just as a difficult decision, I think the quads of Dorian might put him down. And on the opposite end of the spectrum, I think maybe, I think that was an Irish accent for a second. I think those massive quads of Coleman will push him over Phil Heath, who will get an easy second if that's the case, because he looks pretty aesthetically pleasing, I think. So poor Dorian falls last in line, and the most muscular is no exception. There's a few shots, guys, where Yates, hey, he's winning a couple of shots, for sure. He's the man in certain poses, but this is bodybuilding. That's what makes it so fun. That's what it makes it so interesting, you know. People just think, well, you look at it and who's winning? That's who wins. Well, no, not necessarily. It is and it isn't, if you know what I mean. If you know what I'm saying. Like, Coleman, he looks like he's better, more separated than Phil. But Phil has those chunky, big old arms. Look at that. Definitely deserves a wow and a half. Here's the hands clasped for at least Dorian, who doesn't look good. Again, 93 camera angles. Not only tilted dousely, but thusly as well. Coleman, nice straight-on shot of him. Phil, same thing. There's a hardness, a density, like I argued earlier, in Dorian Yates' favor. He was harder and denser in those back shots. For sure he was, guys. This is Dorian Yates we're talking about. Here in the front, you can see that same edge King Coleman has over Phil Heath. So yeah, Phil looks gnarly with those arms. He's winning in that aspect. Bubbly, round, full, three-dimensional. But Coleman has the better structure. He has the better muscle separation. You guys like when I mispronounce a word and then I say that mispronunciation of the word? You guys like that? I should do a poll. But yeah, equal separation as Dorian. Maybe more so, I would say. Coleman has. And he has that wide clavicle. Much wider clavicle than Phil. I think there's just too many aspects winning in those quads. So yeah, Coleman gets the most muscular, and I'm not even going to check the score sheets yet. I think Coleman's winning this one? Well, to be fair, we'll check the score sheet. We don't want to make any assumptions around here. Yeah, Coleman wins. Coleman wins hands down. He won a lot of shots, guys. Now, when it comes to Yates versus Heath, it's an interesting situation. I actually have Yates ahead of Phil, so Yates is better than Phil, not necessarily. It was so close in those back shots, guys. So close that it was almost a toss-up between all three. So a guy lands in third, might have very well won this one. And the thing about Phil, in a lot of shots, he was taking second place. So that just means he was battling it out for a first place position. So on paper, yeah, I have Yates ahead a little bit. So for you Dorianites, you may rejoice. But truth be known, guys, for you followers of Phil, you Phil followers, it's like Scientology, it's new. It's new. Take it easy, guys, it's a joke. But yeah. For you Phil Heath followers, you gotta realize that these pictures of Yates sucked. And they didn't even count the most muscular. Another food for thought on that one. But like I said, he was defeating Phil anyway, and he was losing in the most muscular. Phil obviously could have won that one. You tweak it a little bit, the ones that he was just losing to Coleman by an edge. You tweak those a little bit, and Phil's your winner. And I guess the same could be said about the other two guys. It's a great debate, and that's the word, great. Dorian Yates was great, 1993. His conditioning was the best. Ronnie King Coleman, 1999, was great. Structure, muscle, bellies, baby please, wheels, back. Phil Heath, pure perfection. He's just smaller, and he didn't have the best set of abs. But everything else was pure perfection. Just lacked in that clavicle width, I guess, where the other two guys were supreme. If Phil had that, then I guess he'd be the greatest of all time with the Sean Ray set of abs. Hit thumbs up on the video, guys. I think that's asking for a bit much. And subscribe to the channel. Not the hit thumbs up. Phil. Yeah. Have a great one, guys.